I'm starting to not want to be friends with this girl. I keep feeling like I, female 26, have done something wrong, but I truly cannot think of a single thing I have done wrong or said wrong to her. She acts like we are fine, nothing is wrong, but then says things that are really inappropriate. She's my best friend. I've known her for 12 years, mostly as acquaintances, mutual friend group, with the last 4 being really close. My husband and I have been together for 9 years. We used to talk every day, FaceTime every day for like an hour, and now it's just crickets unless I call her. If I text her, she ignores me indefinitely. The last 2 months have been really distant. We have FaceTimed maybe once a week, and that's if I initiate fight. A few weeks ago, I was telling her about my newly single friend and how happy I was for her to be out of her hurtful relationship. And she said, "Something for you to think about." What? My husband doesn't have an hurtful bone in his body. He's the sweetest man to me. We joke around a lot and probably seem aggressive to others, but teasing each other is our way of showing affection, and I wouldn't want it any other way. To add, we do not insult each other ever. Physical appearance is off limits for us. We playfully tease each other, but I could see how it might be deemed aggressive when we throw small objects at each other, which usually ends in one or the other accidentally getting hit by a toy car. In no way, shape, or form should what we do in our marriage make it okay for another person to verbally insult my partner. The other day, she was telling me about this guy she has a crush on. She said he was really rude to her, belittled her, and made her feel dumb, her exact words. And she got him in trouble at work for it. I said, "That doesn't seem like somebody you would want to date. He sounds mean." She immediately says, "Look at your husband, dude." I said, "What about him?" She says, "This guy is really nice. It's probably a one-off. Your husband is a jerk and you are still with him?" I'm confused because she was just going on and on about being in almost tears because of how this guy was treating her while he was training her. And now she brings my husband into it for no reason. All because I said he sounds mean. And now he's a nice guy. WTF, man. Last week I cut my husband's hair. She asked how it turned out and I sent her a picture. She immediately insulted him, saying, "Oh God, he looks like a dumb turtle." I told her, "That was mean." And she sent this back. "My bad, I thought you were going to think that was hilarious. I took it too far. He has a little cupid bow on his top lip. He does not look bad. It's just different. Very drastic. But also, sorry for making fun of your husband. I'm so used to teasing people with you. I know now to not make fun of your husband. But also just wanted to say, just because I'm understanding doesn't mean you can't still feel upset about my initial response. Your feelings are valid. Take your time to be mad, okay? But when you've had time, if you need it, we can talk if you want about what is and isn't appropriate, or if why it bothered you." Although it was a very nice way to apologize, I feel like it was just over the top and insincere. A simple, "My bad, sorry," would have been enough because it wasn't that serious. Rude, yes, but not really a big deal. But it feels like she's almost mocking me, like a mean girl would. To add, I also do not tease people. I listen to her tease people. People she used to be friends with, coworkers, or just anybody that made her upset that day. I offer different perspectives, but I don't like to tease or insult people. So I guess to her, that is US teasing people. There's more than a few instances where she insults my husband for no reason, but these are the most recent. She keeps saying things that feel so passive-aggressive, or takes straight-up jabs at my husband, and it makes no sense to me. We took her on holiday with us in April. She was supposed to pay for her fair share of the trip, and she only paid $100, leaving my husband to foot the other $400. He didn't say anything about it, never once mentioned it. He didn't treat her differently. He was very nice and paid for her stuff, despite her having a bad attitude the entire trip. To add, I added this as a reference to my husband's kindness. If he was this awful person that she keeps suggesting he is, wouldn't he have done something to make her feel bad about this trip? To me, the fact that he never brought it up and just went with it is a testament to how nice he is. I was mad about it, but he kept assuring me it was okay, not a big deal, and that we will take it as a lesson to not include her on trips in the future. He is a gentleman that way. If he is financially able, he will provide for anybody. I have a lot of respect for how he handled that situation. What do I even do? It's making me not want to be friends. It's so disrespectful to me. Do I just let this relationship burn out on its own and assume it's run its course? Should I say something to her? I'm not sure how to handle this situation or if I'm just blowing it out of proportion. What should I do? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Either confront her with a come to Jesus talk and ask for a valid reason on why she keeps making these comments, or don't make plans with her anymore. The second one is harder to pull off if she's clingy though, and she seems to have a need to control the narrative of your life. So she'll probably keep asking you to hang out. You don't need to let her do this. You don't need to let her continue treating you and your husband this way. Tell her you and she need to have a conversation about her behavior, actions, and words, and set some boundaries for yourself. If she doesn't explain herself, give you a real apology and promise to change her behavior in the future and pay you back the money she should have paid for that trip. Then let her know you are no longer interested in being friends with her and need her to respect that. Comment 2. I would say that you have called this upon yourself. Her message to you tells me that you guys would often diss people. You say you and your husband bully each other as your love language. Your whole dynamic screams that this is the sort of friendship you have. Maybe you are only just noticing it now that someone you love and hold dear is on the firing line. But I genuinely feel you both have a part to play in this. Try talking to her about it and how you would like the dynamic to change to a more friendly style. If you don't openly communicate this sort of thing, how is she supposed to know? Now for the update. Thanks for all the comments from the last post. So here's what happened over the past few days. After my last post, I decided to confront her about everything. I couldn't keep pretending like everything was fine when it clearly wasn't. I called her up and asked if we could meet for coffee. She agreed, but I could tell she was hesitant. When we met, I didn't waste any time. I told her how I felt about her comments about my husband, and how it seemed like she was always trying to put him down. She looked surprised at first, but then she got defensive. She said she was just joking and that I was being too sensitive. I told her that it wasn't just about the jokes, but about the way she had been treating me and my husband lately. She didn't take it well. She started to get angry and said that I was overreacting and that I needed to lighten up. I told her that I didn't think it was fair for her to insult my husband and then tell me that I was the one with the problem. She got up and left, saying that she needed some time to think. I felt terrible after that conversation. I didn't want to lose her as a friend, but I also couldn't keep letting her treat me and my husband that way. I talked to my husband about it, and he was really supportive. He said that he thought I did the right thing and that he was proud of me for standing up for myself. The next day, she texted me and said that she wanted to talk. We met up again, and this time, she was a lot calmer. She apologized for the way she had been acting and said that she didn't realize how much her comments were hurting me. She said that she'd been going through a lot of stress at work and that she had been taking it out on me without realizing it. She also admitted that she was jealous of my relationship with my husband. She said that she'd always wanted a relationship like ours, and that it was hard for her to see us so happy when she was struggling in her own love life. I was really surprised by her honesty. I told her that I appreciated her apology and that I understood where she was coming from. I also told her that I wanted to be there for her, but that she needed to stop taking her frustrations out on me and my husband. She agreed and said that she would work on it. We decided to take a break from each other for a little while to give her some time to sort things out. It was hard, but I knew it was the right thing to do. During that time, I focused on my own mental health and spent a lot of time with my husband. We talked a lot about our relationship and how we could support each other better. It was really good for us, and I felt like we grew even closer. A few days later, she reached out to me again. She said that she'd been doing a lot of thinking and that she realized she needed to make some changes in her life. She said that she had started seeing a therapist to help her deal with her stress and jealousy issues. She also said that she wanted to work on being a better friend to me. I was really happy to hear that she was taking steps to improve herself. We met up again, and this time it felt like old times. We talked and laughed, and it felt like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. She apologized again for the way she had been acting and said that she was committed to being a better friend. Since then, things have been a lot better between us. We still have our moments, but I feel like we're on the right track. She's been a lot more supportive and understanding, and I've been trying to be more patient with her. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better than it was. Looking back, I realized that I should have confronted her sooner. I let things build up for too long, and it almost cost me a friendship. But I'm glad I finally spoke up, and I'm glad she was willing to listen and make changes. It's been a tough few days, but I feel like we're both in a better place now. Thanks for reading. Aita for feeling disrespected. When my partner grinded on another man at a party. I've been dating my partner for 3 years. Recently, at a party, I saw her grinding on another man. She didn't seem to care when she saw me and continued dancing for a bit. I felt disrespected, but didn't address it immediately. Later, I told her I felt belittled and embarrassed. She apologized for how I felt, but didn't see it as disrespectful, believing it was fine since it wouldn't lead to anything more. Despite my attempts to explain my boundaries, she disagreed, thinking her initial conversation with the man set clear limits. Am I overreacting, and how can I make her understand why I feel disrespected? My partner. 48-year-old female. And I, 38-year-old male, have been dating for 3 years. The other afternoon, we were on a party boat, and I came around the corner with drinks for both of us to find her on the dance floor dancing with another man. She was grinding on him as he held her waist. She saw me and didn't seem to care. She continued to dance for a few seconds, then came over to me. I was shocked, to say the least. I find this behavior incredibly disrespectful, but in the moment, I didn't know what to do, and I brushed it off. It was eating away at me all week, and I brought it up with her. I asked why she felt it was okay to do that. I explained that I felt disrespected, belittled, and embarrassed. She apologized for how I felt, but disagreed that it was disrespectful. She believed that because it wouldn't go anywhere with him, that is, kissing, cucking, it should be fine. I tried so many ways to explain that this is a boundary I'm not comfortable with. However, she stuck to her ground. To make matters worse, for me at least, she said the guy was there with friends for a fuck holiday. So she told him she had a partner, but she would help him find someone. This was before they danced. She believed that because she said that, it prevents him from wanting more. I explained that men see that as a challenge, especially if you continue to entertain their agenda. She couldn't disagree more. We have spoken about boundaries before and have agreed on many things, but we haven't discussed dancing. This is a first, but I don't think individual things should be considered as they happen. Instead, anything intimacy, like grinding, is off the cards. I'm not controlling. I don't mind if she dances with girlfriends or by herself. I want her to have fun. But with another man like that is a huge no. 1, am I overthinking this? 2, how do I show her, explain to her in a way she, as a female, would understand that I feel disrespected as a partner? To add, I'd like to provide some further context to my rationale. My partner cheated on her ex-partner before me. We have spoken about this, and she promised it would never happen again. I haven't cheated in the past, nor have I been cheated on. However, this behavior is new for her, and I'm concerned it could be a sign of her past coming back around. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. She's going to do what she wants, when she wants, and she clearly doesn't care about your feelings. I would leave in a heartbeat because of her response as much as her actions, and I'm a woman. If she had apologized or acknowledged your feelings and been willing to discuss it, okay, everyone has different boundaries on these things, but she completely ignored you and gave you all the reasons you're wrong. Forget that and forget her. Comment 2. A boundary is not something you impose on your partner. It is something you set for yourself. She has told you that she will dance with other guys. You say that you don't want to be in a relationship with somebody who dances with other guys. Accordingly, you need to respect your own boundary and break up with her. There's no option where she happily agrees with your way of thinking and stops dancing with other guys. Now for the update. Hey everyone, thanks for reading my last post. So, a lot has happened since I last updated you. After our initial conversation about the party boat incident, things were tense between us. We tried to move past it, but the unresolved feelings kept bubbling up. I decided to take a risk and suggested we go to couples therapy. She was hesitant at first, but eventually agreed. I thought it might help us understand each other better and set clearer boundaries. Our first session was eye-opening. The therapist asked us to share our perspectives without interrupting each other. When it was my turn, I explained how her actions made me feel disrespected and insecure, especially given her past. She listened, but didn't seem to fully grasp why it bothered me so much. When it was her turn, she said she felt I was overreacting and that her actions were harmless. The therapist pointed out that while her intentions might have been innocent, the impact on me was significant. This was a small breakthrough, but it was clear we had a long way to go. The next few days were a mix of progress and setbacks. We had some good conversations where we both tried to be more understanding. However, there were also moments of frustration. One evening, we had a heated argument about trust. She felt I was holding her past against her, while I felt she wasn't taking my feelings seriously. It was a tough conversation, but it forced us to confront some deep-seated issues. Then, something unexpected happened. We were invited to another party by mutual friends. I was apprehensive, but she assured me she would be mindful of my feelings. At the party, I noticed she was more reserved and stayed close to me. However, towards the end of the night, I saw her talking to a guy near the bar. My heart sank, but I decided to give her the benefit of the doubt. When we got home, I asked her about it. She said the guy was just asking for directions and that she made it clear she was with someone. I wanted to believe her, but the doubt lingered. The next day, I found myself checking her phone, something I had never done before. I felt guilty, but also desperate for reassurance. I didn't find anything suspicious, but the act itself made me realize how much this situation was affecting me. We had another therapy session, and I brought up my insecurities. The therapist suggested we work on rebuilding trust through small, consistent actions. She also recommended we set some clear boundaries and revisit them regularly. We both agreed to this, and it felt like a step in the right direction. Over the next few days, we made a conscious effort to communicate better. We started having weekly check-ins where we would discuss any concerns or feelings that came up. This helped us stay connected and address issues before they escalated. I also made an effort to show her I trusted her by being more open and vulnerable. One evening, we had a deep conversation about our pasts. She shared more about her previous relationship and how it ended. She admitted that she had cheated because she felt neglected and unappreciated. This was a turning point for me. I realized that her actions at the party might have been a misguided attempt to feel desired and valued. This didn't excuse her behavior, but it helped me understand her better. I also shared some of my own insecurities and fears. I told her about a past relationship where I felt constantly compared to others. This made me realize that my reaction to her dancing with another man was partly rooted in my own issues. We both agreed to work on our individual insecurities while supporting each other. As we continued therapy, we started to see more progress. We became more attuned to each other's needs and feelings. I noticed she was making an effort to be more considerate of my boundaries, and I was trying to be less controlling. We still had our disagreements, but we were learning to navigate them better. One day, she surprised me with a heartfelt letter. In it, she apologized for her actions and acknowledged how they had hurt me. She also expressed her commitment to our relationship and her desire to rebuild my trust. This gesture meant a lot to me and marked a turning point in our journey. We decided to take a short trip together to reconnect and focus on our relationship. During the trip, we had some of the most honest and open conversations we've ever had. We talked about our future, our goals, and our fears. It felt like we were finally on the same page. Looking back, I realized that the party boat incident was a wake-up call for both of us. It forced us to confront our issues and work on them together. While it was a challenging experience, it ultimately brought us closer. We still have a long way to go, but I feel more hopeful about our future. Thanks for reading. Aita for confronting my boyfriend about his dirty jokes with his sister-in-law and questioning their relationship. We've been together for 5 months. 2 of the 5 months he's been away, traveled to his hometown to visit family, staying at his brother and sister-in-law's house. We once had a conversation about something, and it came up in that conversation that he and his sister-in-law shared dirty jokes about each other's intimacy lives, jokes that he said he doesn't make with his older brother, whom she's married to. They've known each other for like 10 years. That's how long she's been in the family. For the 2 months that he's been staying at their place, his older brother hasn't been around. He stays in a different country for work. Boyfriend says he's enjoying being a husband and father. Made a joke about being a part of the group of husbands that wait for their partners to finish up with glam before they go out. Okay, I was like, weird, but whatever. It's kind of a cultural thing. We're from two different national, ethnic, and racial backgrounds. That in the olden days, brothers would have been expected to marry their brother's widow and accept her and her kids as his own, so the language kind of reflects that. So I decided to be cool. Okay, cut to the present day where I'm on the phone with him. And if the sister-in-law walks into the room, he drops the phone on me unceremoniously and does not even text afterward to say, sorry about that, she needed something, or I'll call you later, or good night. If we're on a call and he hears her looking for him in the house, he'll tell me he'll call back, but doesn't. I get that he might not want to be hassled about a relationship that is still brand new. Everyone is on his case to get married, but I don't get why I can't get a bit of common courtesy. And also, I do want to feel like a priority. Like he can just say he's busy and on a call right now and can't help her right now. He doesn't have to say that he's on the phone with his girlfriend now. I'm starting to get weird, intrusive thoughts about the nature of his relationship with her. Like, okay, so what if he is on the phone with a girlfriend? If they're such good buddies, he can just tell her it's early days and to keep it under wraps from everyone else. But now it feels like he's almost hiding me or something for weird reasons I don't want to think about. I feel like I could just be being weird about this. So if that's the case, I just need to be told that, thanks. I don't want to bring it up with him because it's a little weird. Like, we've only been together really for 3 months in person. And now I want to start being weird about family members he's known for 10 years. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. None of this is normal. I don't give a FCK about what ethnicity, background, or whatever differences there are. That is not normal. The guy's either lying to you about her being his sister-in-law or he's doing something inappropriate with the sister-in-law. Either way, let's call this a big, flailing red flag full of flashing lights. He is not a suitable partner or keeper. Comment 2. I think he's lying to you and the sister-in-law is actually his wife. Doesn't sound like he treats you like a girlfriend, but more like a side piece. Hanging up on you when the sister-in-law comes in or is near is strange. Have you met these other people, or are you unknown, a secret? Now for the update. Hey everyone, a lot has happened since my last post. So last week I decided to confront my boyfriend about the way he drops our calls. Whenever his sister-in-law walks into the room, I couldn't keep ignoring it. I asked him why he couldn't just tell her he was on the phone and would call her back later. He seemed taken aback and said he didn't realize it was bothering me so much. He apologized and promised to be more considerate. I felt a bit better after that conversation, but things took an unexpected turn. A couple of days later, I was on a video call with him, and he was in the living room. His sister-in-law walked in, and instead of dropping the call, he told her he was on the phone with me. She looked surprised and then smiled, saying, "Oh, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt." She left the room, and I thought, okay, maybe things will get better now. All right. But then, later that night, I got a message from him saying he needed to talk. When we spoke, he told me that his sister-in-law had asked him why he was being so secretive about our relationship. He said she seemed genuinely curious and a bit concerned. He explained to her that he didn't want to make a big deal out of it because it was still new, and he didn't want to deal with the pressure from his family. She apparently understood, but also mentioned that she thought it was important for him to be open about his relationship if he was serious about it. This conversation with his sister-in-law seemed to have a significant impact on him. He started being more open about our relationship, even mentioning me in conversations with his family. I thought things were finally looking up, but then I got a call from his older brother. He was back in town for a few days and wanted to meet me. I was nervous, but agreed. When we met, his brother was polite, but seemed a bit distant. He asked me a lot of questions about our relationship and how we met. It felt like an interrogation. Then, out of nowhere, he brought up the dirty jokes that my boyfriend and his wife shared. He asked if I was comfortable with that. I was caught off guard and didn't know how to respond. I told him that it was something I was still trying to understand and that I trusted my boyfriend. After that meeting, I felt uneasy. It was clear that his brother was protective of his wife and wanted to make sure there was nothing inappropriate going on. I couldn't shake off the feeling that there was more to this story. I decided to talk to my boyfriend about it again. This time, I asked him directly if there was anything I needed to know about his relationship with his sister-in-law. He looked uncomfortable, but assured me that there was nothing going on and that they were just close friends. However, the next day, I received an anonymous message on social media. It was from someone claiming to know my boyfriend and his sister-in-law. They said that their relationship was more than just friendly and that I should be careful. I didn't know what to think. I showed the message to my boyfriend, and he was furious. He said it was probably someone trying to stir up trouble and that I shouldn't believe it. But the seed of doubt had been planted. I started paying more attention to their interactions. One evening, I overheard a conversation between them. They were talking about a trip they took together a few years ago, just the two of them. My boyfriend had never mentioned this trip to me before. I felt a pang of jealousy and decided to confront him about it. He admitted that they had gone on a trip together, but insisted that it was purely platonic. He said that his brother was supposed to go with them, but had to cancel at the last minute. I wanted to believe him, but I couldn't shake off the feeling that there was more to the story. As the week went on, I found myself becoming more and more paranoid. I started having dreams about my boyfriend and his sister-in-law being together. I knew I needed to talk to someone about it, so I confided in my best friend. She listened patiently and then told me that I needed to trust my instincts. She said that if something didn't feel right, I should address it head on. So I decided to have one final conversation with my boyfriend. I told him everything that had been bothering me and asked him to be completely honest with me. He looked me in the eyes and said that he loved me and that there was nothing going on between him and his sister-in-law. He said that he understood why I was feeling this way and promised to be more transparent with me. I want to believe him, but I can't help but feel like there's still something he's not telling me. Maybe it's just my insecurities getting the best of me, or maybe there's something more to this story. Only time will tell. Thanks for reading. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.